based on the industry ratios and two comparable companies, but our cost will be higher than this Chinese manufacturer, but it will be lower than many American companies. And we expect our net earning will be 20%. And for the accountable receivables, we want to control it to 15% of sales, and to give us a better cash position. And we can see from the data, our average industry accounts payable will have a small percentage, but we will try to delay our payment for the payables by negotiation with the suppliers of the raw materials. And let's look at the ratio analysis. We can see our current ratio is 2.3, which is in the range of the healthy entrepreneurs. And this quick ratio shows without waiting for the inventory to sell, we can totally pay off our current liabilities. The payable, you can see from here, the payable periods will be longer than collection period, which can give us an advantageous position of holding more cash in hand. And we expect our return on asset and equity will be can reach these successful biological companies, which can attract more investors to invest on our company. And now Tom will show you our sales forecast and the revenue forecast.
Thanks, Jingwen. So because we're targeting a specific group of diabetic foot ulcer patients, we decided to use the population-based method to actually estimate our financial forecast. So first thing we had to do was we had to determine how many units of Wound Aid that we actually could sell both in China and in the US. In China, we decided to target Tier 1 and Tier 2 cities because they are the most heavily populated cities in China. So for our calculations, for each city, we calculated the total number of diabetic foot ulcer patients by taking their, the total population in each city, and we multiplied this by the incidence rate of diabetes in that city, and then once we had a value, we multiplied that by the Chinese national diabetic foot ulcer rate of 12.7%. Because we felt that we were undoubtedly going to face some type of cultural barriers, we estimated that our market penetration would be quite low at a rate of 1%. And so putting this all together, we project to sell 10,300 units in our first year of Wound Aid products. Now for the US, we feel like we'll be more comfortable actually targeting the whole country. So we calculated our units sold by multiplying the nation's total population, which is 20.9 million people, and we multiplied that by the US incidence of diabetic foot ulcers. And in our research, we also found that there's actually a percentage of patients who actually don't even go for treatment. So only 73% of patients seek treatment in the diabetic community. And so that shrunk our number even more. And then finally, we estimated a market penetration rate of 2.5%. So that projects us to 15,638 units of Wound Aid in year 4 of our plan. Now, the reason I say year 4 is because if you remember our operation strategy, we were treating the Chinese. We were planning on going and target the Chinese market first, while we are still performing the phase 3 clinical trials here in the States. This will give us, selling only in China for a 3-year period, the first 3 years. To calculate our revenues estimates, we first had to settle on what was Wound Aid's price. We did this by comparing our nearest ointment competitors, which was Santyl, Regranix, and Zernium. And then we actually looked at their pricing and also their unit size. We feel that $375 per 30-gram tube of Wound Aid would accurately reflect our actual product's wound healing value. So putting together our price with our projected units sold, this resulted in our following revenues over the total 5 years. For For the growth of sales each year, we used actually a general pharmaceutical growth rate of 17%. This is China only. And then we also, for US, we used a wound care specific growth rate of 7%. So that's everything. Thank you for your time. Are there any questions?
I don't know if you guys